All right, guys, this is Casey, and he's going to tell us what he found during the inspection.
How you guys doing? Just finished the inspection. I'll email everything over to you with color photos. But just a brief synopsis here. On the roof, we have about 4 to 6 broken tiles in different areas on the roof.
Okay.
A couple golf ball issues.
Are they mainly on the back, or are they all
They're
over?
on the east side.
Okay.
And then on the flat sections of the roof, we have its original rolled composition material that's beginning to blister and it's beginning to crack. And all the sealing on the parapet walls is deteriorating as well.
The parapet's where it comes up a little bit?
Correct.
Okay.
And on the flashing cap on top of that parapet wall. So like a little tune-up on the roof, and then I'd get an assessment on life expectancy on the remaining, on the rolled composition.
Okay.
I believe it's original 2001, so we're getting in that time life where it might need to be replaced.
So it's really just the flat areas that would
Correct.
need some maintenance.
And then a couple tiles, and there's some unused stacked tiles up on the roof that I don't think anything needs to be purchased, probably just
slap
replaced.
those. Okay.
Water heater's a newer water heater, 2015, 2014.
That's located in the garage?
Correct. It's a 75-gallon water heater. The water pipes on top of the water heater are missing the black foam insulation wrapped around it.
Okay.
There's no sediment trap on the gas supply pipe. And it's a 75-gallon water heater, which requires 3 straps.
And what does the sediment trap do exactly?
Sediment trap is a little 3-inch nipple that gets installed right after the shutoff valve before it connects to the flex gas connector. That if that valve is off and the pressure is backed up against that valve, you open that valve. If there's any debris or moisture, it should drop into that sediment trap before entering the appliance.
Okay, and based on the age of this,
It was required at the time.
so
of
it should have been
installation.
there, but it's
Correct.
not. And it's one of those things that came up. When did they start doing that?
They became code in 2007.
Okay, so like when we were growing up, they didn't exactly have them, but they came later. Okay.
Let's see here. Both furnaces are in the attic. They're original as well, so I recommend a home warranty. They work really well, but they're 2001 models. Your air conditioners are 2022, 2023 models. So they just replaced the air conditioners, and they also replaced the evaporative coils connected to the furnaces in the attic. So everything that makes the air cold is 2022, 2023. It's the furnaces that are still the old one. But out here in the desert, we always see old furnaces because it doesn't get used that often. So as long as the fan is strong enough to blow the air that the air conditioners create, we always see old furnaces. But because of their age, I just want you to be protected with a home warranty if you guys haven't discussed it.
Okay, but the air conditioning, which is probably, as you said,
yeah,
a
you
real
got
thing.
2 5-ton systems.
Okay.
So you got 10 tons of air conditioning for 3,400 square feet. So you're calculated out extremely well.
Okay, great.
Okay. Also, for both furnaces, again, don't have sediment traps. Again, they came code in 2007. However, in the industry, they're like water heater strapping, where it doesn't matter how old the appliance is. If there isn't a sediment trap, then there should be one because it's always going to protect the appliance.
Right, so you always call it out.
Correct.
Okay.
Exterior of the house, we have some chip peeling stucco top coat. One area on the south side of the house, we had an open crack where it's bigger than where you could fit like a quarter into the cracking on the east side of the house. Here outside the garage, here on the north side of the garage, we have some soil level that's above the weep screed. So it's above where the foundation and the stucco wall meet. There's a little screen at the bottom of that stucco that allows any moisture that the stucco absorbs to escape. And when the earth is covering that, then you have potential for moisture to get in between the walls.
So would that basically be just sort of
Shovel it down 2
shovel
to 3 inches below like the rest of it.
Have the gardener do it, sort of
Yeah,
thing?
and there's some areas on the east, west side of the house as well where the soil's in contact with the weep screed as
Okay.
well.
And the crack that you said was particularly large, and particularly means just a little bit larger than usual, I think.
Yeah.
That was what, big, you could put a nickel in it type of situation?
Yeah, we could go look at it. You want? It's on the east side of the house
Okay.
if you want. My bad.
And that can be just corrected probably with,
Stucco patch, and then you'd have to match the paint or feather the paint to match the color because stucco patch is typically white or light tan in color.
okay.
The exterior electrical, we have an outlet on the north side of the house outside of the primary bedroom, which is an outlet that has the buttons that trip and reset. It's a GFCI outlet. It's not tripping, and it's missing an exterior cover.
Okay, so it needs a cover, and do you think that it's miswired, or that maybe it's just
No, it's
malfunctioning
grounded,
at this
and it
point?
just probably because it hadn't been tested and the cover's missing, the moisture probably just sees that spring that's in those buttons.
Okay.
So a $20 outlet, replace it with another $20 cover would rectify that.
Okay.
There's also a GFCI outlet on the barbecue structure that's also not tripping. There's an outlet on the west side of the garage that is not GFCI protected. So we
And it
have a
should be
couple-
because it's outside?
all exterior outlets are
Okay.
required to be GFCI protected. The barbecue itself, the side burner has a damaged igniter. So I tested it manually with the barbecue lighter.
So in
Same
other
thing.
words, make sure you have a barbecue lighter when you're doing it.
Yeah, so the electric igniters to the barbecue are not functioning.
Okay,
well.
that happens all the time, so yeah.
Gas meter has some rusted plumbing on it, so that's when you establish service in your name, you let the gas company know that. They'll come and prime and paint it for you for free.
Okay.
There's a gate on the east side of the house where the latch doesn't align and lock. I mean, the latch doesn't align and lock. Kind of have to pick up the gate in order to do it, as well as there's some rusted hardware, rusted metal on the gates on the east and west sides of the house.
Okay, so the rusted stuff should probably just be
Just a little
painted over
maintenance.
time as a maintenance
Yep.
item.
Yep.
I'm assuming there's just an adjustment probably to the hinges to make it
Make it align and lock
Okay.
latch. Let's see, pool equipment. We have the pumps to the shear. One of the pumps to the shear descents on the pool
Okay.
is leaking at the housing, so it needs a new gasket because it's got a pretty good leak there. They had the breakers off
Okay.
when I got here, so when I turned on the breakers to see why they were off, that's why.
Okay.
Because that pump is leaking a lot of water.
So they should just have the pool person to
Correct.
come and put a new gasket on it type of thing.
There's 3 lights in the pool. One of them does not illuminate. One of them did not work today. It's the west one.
Okay.
The spa light, it also did not illuminate.
Okay, so the
And
light,
it's not a trip. It's not a short thing because the GFCI doesn't trip. In fact, I tested GFCI for the other 2 remaining pool lights, and they do protect it.
okay, so it really needs to be determined whether it's a bulb.
It's bulb.
Probably a bulb, okay.
Yeah. If it was a short, it'd be tripping the GFCI. You
Oh,
wouldn't
well,
even be able to turn
that's
it on.
actually better than not.
Correct. There's a little control pad mounted on the spa surface with buttons. If you were sitting in the spa, if you wanted to turn on the jets, the lights, that's not working.
Okay, those are like air switches or something like that?
Well, no, they have a little bit of. I mean, it's not electricity per se, but it's like a thermostat wire where it talks to the equipment.
Okay.
It's not like voltage, but it does communicate with the equipment, and they install them on the water line. So like 9 out of every 10 don't work, but yours is not working today.
Okay, and is that also done with an app at all? Did you see, is there like a remote
I use
for
the
that?
control pad mounted on the wall in the primary bedroom to operate the pool equipment.
Do you know if it's remote, Fred?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It does. I don't think so. The garage and the ceiling in the garage, we have some vents on the ceiling in the garage. Maybe almost like there was a swamp cooler, evaporative cooler in the garage at some point in time, because that's what they put in the ceiling to release the pressure that a swamp cooler requires to
Okay.
operate.
Yeah.
However, it's a fire-rated compartment because it does
Is that
go
fly
into. Yeah, it does. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it. In the attic, there's no firewall that separates the garage from the house, so that's a fire-rated compartment, so they should not be penetrated. The fix for that to be remove those vents, put some 1/2 inch or 5/8 drywall, and blend it in with no open seams or anything to make that code
Could you
compliant.
even just put plywood over it and then seal around the
No,
plywood
because
with
that's
caulking?
flammable as well.
Oh, that's flammable as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to use the drywall. Okay.
Correct. The fire door, the door that goes from the garage to the laundry area, has a doggy door in it, so it's no longer a fire-rated door because the fire-rated door is required to be solid. in
The truth is, they're
construction.
going to put a bigger door in there for their bigger dog.
Okay, because I also noted that there's pet doors on the east side of the house and on the west side of the garage where they cut into the exterior wall. So
Yeah.
if they don't have a pet, sometimes the buyers like to know
Yeah,
that.
no, they'll probably put a bigger one in there actually.
Inside the house, not much going on inside the house. Let's see here. The slider screen door in the primary bedroom is torn. The slider screen door in the living room has torn material. There's 11 windows on the house that are missing screens.
Okay.
I didn't go digging in the garage if they're in the garage. There's 11 windows that open and close that don't have screens on today.
Is that what the dots on your arm are, really?
Yeah. As I walk the house, so I keep my number.
So what happens when you do multiple inspections?
Oh, I clean them every day. Primary bathroom, there is an outlet that they added in the toilet room for the bidet or the fancy toilet.
Uh-huh.
It's not GFCI protected.
Okay.
In the south bathroom, there's an outlet on the next to the sink that's not grounded. It's a GFCI outlet that has the buttons, but it's not grounded, so it's not going to trip. So with that, I think you just have to take the outlet out of the box. There might be a loose wire in there and then put it back in the box.
Gotcha.
Without it being grounded, it's not going to trip. In the kitchen, there's one outlet on the south wall where the coffee maker is. That's also not GFCI protected. All counter height outlets in the kitchen are required to be GFCI protected. So I think when they did that remodel, that might have been an oversight. So I think just one outlet with buttons would be fine for that.
If you really want it. I'll be the voice of reason on that one. I don't think that's going to be a big deal.
And then finally in the kitchen, underneath the range, it's got a downdraft fan, exhaust fan for the range. And that vent pipe inside the cabinet below the range is a corrugated, flexible type vent pipe, and it's required to be rigid with a smooth interior,
Okay.
as to not build up any grease in the corrugates. So that's the last thing I noted there. And that's pretty much it. So what I'll do is I'll put this report together, put it in a PDF formatted file. I took multiple pictures to support these items as well as general views of other things around the house. Send it over to you guys tomorrow sometime. CC Mark. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to call me. We can discuss it as well.
Okay, thanks, Casey.
Thank you.